All right, so what kind of content does a chiropractic office need to be creating for their marketing? Well, the content, I really don't even like that word content, but content for purposes of what we're trying to talk about here are the written word and video and even audio to some degree. Now, written word can be trifold brochures, it can be your business card, it can be flyers you hand out. All that is considered content, but what we're really talking about here is content that's used for your marketing. Now, the marketing is somewhere, whether it's for your website, on your blog of your website, whether you got a YouTube channel or you've got your Facebook or your Instagram or your Snapchat or you're using the LinkedIn's or you're doing the Twitters. I mean, all of these things are all places to put content for your business. Now, what kind of content do you need to have for that? Well, how to treat lower back pain. That may or may not be good content, but how to alleviate back pain problems is good content. So one of the things that we've created in the stuff that we offer is we have done the research to find out what are people searching for the most, and we've created content around that information. Because when someone's in Google, they want to know certain things. But to really be a full content producer and to really beat your competition, if you will, is if you've got some new tool, some new technique, some new something that you've got in your office, promote that. If you've just been to a conference and learned something new, promote that. If you've got a special coming up, promote that. Back to school, promote that. Getting ready for football season, promote that. These are all types of promotions, but don't just say, hey, football players, let's get you back in shape, school's starting. Why don't you say something like, football players are prone to have injuries. If you start off the season in better shape, and here's how we can help you do that, and list some facts about that. Now, I can't even speak to that because I'm not the subject matter expert. You are. So use your subject matter expertness and create the content that people want to hear. So what kind of content do you need? You need the content that people are looking for. You need the content that people want, but you also need the content to make them know that you are the authority in your area in what you do. You are the number one person to go to. There's a chiropractor in a town that I used to live in, and she really works with children. That's her specialty. So everything she does is about nutrition and health and children. And she is the go-to person. The other chiropractors in town recommend her for small children. Now, all the chiropractors can do kids, but she has this one niche, and she's a super person. Everybody likes her, and that's her go-to. And everything she talks about is children. And in her content that she promotes, she talks about the arts festival. She talks about drawing classes. She talks about these other things that are related to her patients. And in her niche, that's where she really falls in. And that is excellent content strategy for what she's doing. So the kind of content that you should be creating is, what do people ask you the most? What should they ask you the most? They want to know questions like, how much does it cost? How long does it take? How many treatments before I feel better? I know there's not an answer for that, but you have to somehow find a way to address it in a non-slimy, non-salesy way so that they say, okay, let me try this. And I like using examples personally. I'm big on examples. Which is better, Mercedes or a Volkswagen? They're both German engineered cars, right? They both get you from point A to point B. And that's the goal of a car. Now, one does it in a slightly more comfortable fashion, maybe. One does it in a slightly more trustworthy fashion. One might hold up longer. I don't know, but they're both German cars. So when you're arguing the fact over Volkswagen or Mercedes, cost is a factor. Amenities are a factor. Getting from point A to point B is not a factor. So when you're talking to people, make sure that what you're addressing is their real concerns and not the obvious of what they're trying to do. So in your content, the content people want is what's relevant to them. And them is not a generic them. Them is each individual. You want to be talking to me. So if your content is, we help lower back pain in women, we help lower back pain in pregnant women, we help lower back pain in older women, Do you see there's 3 different topics right there? To you, it may just be lower back pain, but you've got kids, males, young males, older males, athletes, golfers, people who play tennis. I mean, you can, we specialize in women who play tennis. We specialize in women who play golf. 2 different target markets, because now you're speaking their language and not just yours. So many times when we're creating content, we only speak our language of what we know about. I could talk to you about video all day long, but you don't know about video. You're not on the inside track of video. So for me to try to explain to you about all the ins and outs of video, it's kind of going to get lost a little bit. You may have some interest, but soon you're going to realize, I don't really know what a 5K means. I'm not sure if I should use LEDs or fluorescence. This white balance thing. Trust me, you don't even need to know all that stuff. But the lady who has a lower back pain from playing golf has a different problem in her head than the lady playing who goes bowling who has lower back pain. You see what I'm saying? So try to tailor your content and do multiples. And if you get on a roll and start writing something and you're writing an article, 80% of it can be the same for the golf person, for the tennis person, for the bowling person. But now you've done 80% of the work for 3 articles, and you can just crank out the extra other 20% and fill in the blanks and change it up so it doesn't sound exactly the same. But now you're creating content for different audiences, for different reasons, for different purposes. That's the kind of content you need to be creating. Think specific. Think about your specific audience. Your avatars, you could have 30 avatars, which we talked about in the previous videos. You could have 30 different avatars, people that come to see you, and you need to be writing for each one. And when you think you're inundating with too much content by posting once or twice a day on Facebook, or updating your blog once a week, trust me, you can write that article on the golfing and post it today, and you can write basically the same article on tennis and post it 3 weeks from now, and no one's going to think, oh, they just turned these same words and just added a different sport in here. That's not the point. The point is you're talking to a specific audience, and when they see the words golfing, if they play tennis, they're going to pass it over. If they see the words tennis and they golf, they're going to pass it over. But if they see the word golf and they play golf, or tennis and they play tennis, they're going to take notice of that. So I'm using these metaphors as a very small segment, I know, of the population, but you can create content around so many things because your subjects, your knowledge of this is so vast that when you start really digging in and making a list of all the things that you're an expert on, I mean, expert is like the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. I don't know, that may be incorrect even. But these are things that the muscles in there and how these things are aligned that that will make me feel better, and I don't know these things. Yesterday I walked 3 miles in a city that I've never been to before. I was tired. There's probably something I could have done differently before or after or even during that would have made my legs not be so tired at the end of the day. I probably could have stretched. I probably could have. So there, before going on a big walk, stretch. Before going on a big walk, do this. Halfway through a big walk, do this. I didn't think about it. It wasn't top of mind because I haven't paid attention to it. I just went out and did it. But these are all those little things that make you start to think about, what can I do? And you as a subject matter expert know this information. I'm just a consumer. I don't know nothing. So I hope that helps in kind of determining what kind of content you want to be creating for your audience to get more people into your practice so that you can be making more money and having better revenue and, taking those big vacations, because after all, we all work for vacations, right? Anyway, that's it. Talk to you next time.